So I'm sitting here with the CEO and the head of marketing of PokerSnowie. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
You were developing the Snowy for backgammon, which was the greatest bot at that time of backgammon. And then you skipped the backgammon bot and start developing the poker bot for about 10 years ago. Is that right?
Yeah, we started many years ago, but we started developing no limit version in the last 3 to 4 years, and it took us quite some time to have what we believe a strong version of our game theory model.
So you're saying that this no limit bot right now is not GTO. The GTO bot is just close to, or how far away is it?
It is based on the model of GTO, and it tries to approximate very closely GTO, but of course it is not perfect GTO, but it tries to get close to GTO.
Yeah. Okay. And how did you figure out the process to approximate the GTO? What things have you been doing?
We have worked a lot on the learning algorithm, and it's of course an iterative process. And basically what GTO is all about is to find a strategy that cannot be exploited. So that means you play in a way that is completely balanced and that you have no leaks that can be seen. And in the way we are producing that is that our model plays against other AIs that we produce that try to exploit the current GTO model. And we know basically the day when we cannot exploit our current model anymore, we know that we have reached a perfect solution to the problem. So we know that now it is very tough to find leaks in the current version.
Yeah.
And we know it's not perfect yet, but from our simulations we can see that it has found already quite some good strengths. So it's we believe very strong.
Can you say something about how close it is to GTO, or can we measure it by some way? Can it beat? What levels do you think it could beat if it actually played against a player?
I think it's very tough to say because we can measure, we can compute, since we know the exact model of our GTO solution, we could compute the exact perfect play against it. And so we can see how much potentially it could lose. It's already not much anymore. But to find that as a player, to find potential leaks that we could exploit is nearly impossible. So we know that, for example, 2 years ago, the version we had was much weaker because there were many leaks still in the software.
Yeah.
And we have come to a solution that we find is very strong. If I compare to backgammon, when we launched our first version of Snowy, there were also leaks. I don't know if you're a backgammon player or not, but especially in back games, they had some leaks still. But still, that first version was nearly impossible to beat by the best players in the world. And I think we are at the same stage right now. It's a version 1, but a very good one.
Okay, but right now you're mentioning the Snowy for backgammon.
Yes.
And what Snowy for backgammon did was basically practically destroyed the whole online backgammon for money, right? Because
you could view it like this. I can phrase it a little bit different. Let's say.
Yeah.
I think what Snowy had as an impact on backgammon is that many people had the possibility to become good backgammon players. And that's also what happened, I think, especially in Denmark. Many people were using Snowy, whether officially or unofficially, but I think it had a very strong penetration. Everybody knew what Snowy was about. Everybody became much better backgammon player. And what concerns online backgammon, I think the problem that happened is that, first of all, it's a heads-up game. But second of all, and that's a very important point, I believe, is that it's an open information game. So that means that when you use a model like Snowy, to analyze your game. In backgammon, what you can also do is analyze the game of your opponent. And obviously what you can deduct from that is you play 1 hour with a guy and you can quite accurately see if you're better or worse than your opponent, and if you're after the money.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you see that he is better than you, you stop playing. In poker, this is not the case at all. In poker, you don't see the whole cards of your opponents, so you basically, Snowy is not about analyzing the strengths of your opponents, but it's all about analyzing your own strengths or leaks, so you can work on your own leaks and become better. The similarity is perhaps that an impact will be that the average level might rise, might be tougher for some small professionals to still have a good edge. The good players will become even better, will maintain the edge, I believe. But what is a very good thing is, I think, is that the amateur player, the ones that were going on the sides and were getting killed by the good players, they will have a fighting chance now because they can also have a tool where they can become better.
So basically it's about self-development and working on your own game.
Yes, exactly. I think that's the main difference with backgammon, is that you can only work on your own game, and then second, also it's not a heads-up game. I mean, already now in poker, I think if you look at the heads-up tables, you can see that it's very dry. People are not playing each other when they know this is a shark. They're not playing each other, and the ring games are completely different, because the games you have either 5 opponents or 8 opponents, depending on the size of the table. But you basically sit down and play. You don't do too much bum hunting. And anyway, Snowy is not helping you for doing bum hunting, because it only analyzes your own game. So basically you try to improve your own skill.
Yeah. You developed an offline bot here. Did it ever came across your mind to develop an online bot and just keep it secret and just play with it?
No, I think that's not the point here to do this. I mean, we really want to give a tool for the public to get better. What we have is that we have some players in Montenegro that are using our system to get better, and we have proven that our system works in the sense that they have become much better players, and they are now winning also at higher stakes tables. And we have taken these players from scratch, so to speak. They didn't know anything about poker, and we demonstrated that they could learn from Snowy to become really strong players.
Yeah. So will Snowy, if you can develop an offline bot like Snowy, what does preventing like an evil bot owner to build like an online Snowy version? I mean, that will be not easy, but if you can, I mean, there have to be other people in the earth that can do that, right?
I think it depends a little bit on. I mean, it's not as easy as you think, probably. So that's one point. And the other thing, the other point that we want to make across is that our product is based on GTO, and it's not based on additional statistics from other players. I think it might be quite easy for people to develop perhaps a bot that is based on HUD statistics, trying to exploit the statistics of other players. And perhaps it would make sense to think if this additional information should be allowed at the tables or not, because also from an ecosystem point of view, makes a huge difference if, let's say I have to play poker against you and I have access to your past 500,000 hands. And let's say I can now use this information and use my computer power and try to find the maximum play against you. It will make a huge difference in win rate, whether I'm allowed to do that, or if I'm just trying to play better poker than you and try to win like this, because my win rate like this will be significantly lower. I can still win, obviously. If I just play better poker than you in the long run, I will win. Yeah. But I will not pinpoint on your weakness. I mean, perhaps you are afraid in the river and you fold too often, but it makes it too easy for me if I have access to a database of your hands. I can dig into that somehow.
Yeah. let us try to make this setup. If I played like No Limit 400 and I was making an exploitive strategy, and you were having your Snowy bot online and playing a GTO strategy, who will be the most successful? I know it's only offline, but who will be the most successful, you think?
I think if you have access to a database and you do exploitative play, so let's say you have a big database, whether you're allowed to have this database or not, let's suppose you have it, then I think you can win more, and you will win more.
Yeah, but I will not win against you, because you will not lose to me, right?
So now if you are playing against somebody that plays GTO, the database will be useless.
The what, sorry?
I mean, your database of past hands will basically be useless, because you will try to find leaks that are not existent. But if you use that online right now and you play like that with access to your database, obviously the players at the table are not playing perfect GTO, and so you will find leaks and you will be able to exploit it, and this will bring you direct benefit.
Yeah. All right. So I got a lot of questions from the forums. Is it okay that I just take them and then we can just talk about them?
Sure.
We basically talked about will No Limit die, and you said no, but still, if like in some years there will be more bots, like online bots and stuff like that. So how many years can we give No Limit Hold'em?
I think many years, because think about it that way. I mean, now I think many people, we have gotten that a lot, that they say, oh, online poker is, you're killing online poker, let's say.
Yeah.
But I think what they mean to say is, I'm part of the 5% of the winning players, and what you are doing is you kill my online poker business, meaning that I can make money at the tables because there are many weak players at the table.
Yeah.
But the other 95% that are losing players, I mean, with our tool, we definitely give them a possibility to at least lose less, have more fun at the tables, and that must be appealing to the 95%, because probably it's definitely more fun to play poker if you're not losing too much, right? So I think there is a small portion of the poker population that makes a significant money by playing online poker.
Yeah.
Might be getting tougher for them because fish players, weaker players might have access to a tool that allow them to become quite good players. On the other hand, I think it must be a huge benefit, it will be a huge benefit to these losing players, that they can become better and they can enjoy their passion to play poker, but not losing too much money to the sharks at the tables.
All right.
So I don't think that we are killing online poker. I think we make it more even.
So you're saying that No Limit will get tougher, at least. So should I change to PLO, you think, like, because you haven't developed the PLO bot yet, or is that in the planning?
It's not in the planning for now. Okay. Could be. It's perhaps a good idea to skip us. No, I think I think it might get tougher. On the other hand, it's I mean, compared to backgammon, when you were playing in, I mean, I wasn't playing in the 70s, obviously, but let's say a person, Paul Magritte, the famous backgammon player, was playing in the 70s. He's a genius. He's playing super good backgammon. He understands all the strategy. Of course, he had a much higher win rate in the 70s than in the 90s, even before the coming of the computer programs.
Yeah.
Because it was in its infancy, many people were playing very bad, and he was playing a very good backgammon already at the time, and he was winning a lot, much more than what you could win at a backgammon tournament nowadays. I think poker, regardless of now computer programs, is going into that direction, that more people are interested in the game. People don't like losing, so they are trying to read books, they do all sorts of things, and the level of play is increasing. I think this is just a fact.
Yeah. All right.
It doesn't make it less attractive, because, I mean, I think 80% of the people that play poker online don't have the profession to be an online poker player. I mean, they play online to have fun, to have an intellectual challenge and so on. And for them to be able to do that in a good way is a very good benefit.
Yeah.
If you, just to add to that point, if you actually look at the number one concern of all the large poker rooms, online poker rooms today, it's clearly to try to defend and protect the weaker players that are coming in and are adding to the pool of player. A network just recently installed something to prevent excessive bum hunting. You see all the anonymous tables, for example, which stop you from using statistical tools like HUDs to try to maximally exploit the fish. And the principle is very simple. It's a poker player which has lost all its money, is an ex-poker player and doesn't contribute anything anymore to the system. So anything that can be done to protect and enhance the lifetime of a player will, we believe, enhance the overall ecosystem. Yes, it may be tougher, and yes, it will be, but that's the sort of natural evolution of the whole online poker environment. The game is just getting more competitive. The people are learning more. It's just a natural evolution. We're just part of that trend. But what we're hoping we will help do is ensure that a lot more people are able to enjoy the game for a lot longer, just because they are getting slightly better and they can get the sort of satisfactory reward of playing better poker.
Yeah, but isn't that, sorry for the word, quite naive to think that the fish will get better with this PokerSnowie? Because right now the fish doesn't use Holder Manager, it doesn't use training videos, it doesn't use forums or anything. So why would the fish even start to use PokerSnowie? Is this just about the game is getting better right now? The better players are getting better, and the fish will get even more destroyed.
I don't believe in this, because even for backgammon you could see what was happening. The overall proficiency of all the players became better. Why is that so? Because Snowie is capable of pointing out to you exactly your blunders in a very easy way. A fish is playing, and it actually adds to the fun of playing, because in backgammon was always like this. When they were playing, they immediately asked what was the error rate at the end of the session and things like this. And for poker, it is the same. It's like a challenge that you have. You play, and then at the end of your session, let's suppose you have lost in a session. Let's call him the fish. He looks at it, and Snowie points out, "Oh, you did 3 blunders." He can look at it, immediately recognize, "Oh yes, I shouldn't have done that," and immediately, in a very short amount of time, he has learned a lot. What will he learn from Holder Manager? There are 100,000 of different numbers. It's very abstract for them. It's not pointing for them exactly the mistakes he's doing. It's much more abstract kind of approach, because you understand that you should have this and this statistics going towards that and that number and so on. But here it's very concrete. He says, here you fold it on the turn, you should have a bluff raised, and that's it. And it's over, the advice is there, and it's very easy for him to assimilate it.
Okay.
And I also think from a fun point of view, it can add fun for the player, because you could view it like this. I mean, you play, half of the time you're losing, and the other half of the time you are winning. I mean, when you're winning, you have fun, regardless whether you played bad or good. But let's suppose you lost, and it's also very good for the player to see, I lost, but I might still have played very well. And then you get at least the satisfaction to see, okay, I got beaten today, but Snowie told me I played world class, and it also adds as a reward for him to play like that.
Okay. So right now it's in a trial version. When will it be published, and what will the price be?
We haven't defined the price yet. We are what we have defined is that it's going to be subscription based, so there will be a monthly fee attached to it, which will give you access to a maximum number of hands to be analyzed per month. We will try to understand how many hands are needed for the normal player. So we want to give access so that a normal player can analyze all his hands that he's playing. So we still have to determine that number. And the idea is to start selling subscriptions in about a month.
All right. right. But would it be like $10 or $1,000, or what range would it be in? Can you say something about that?
I can say that it's not going to be 1,000.
No.
And it's probably not going to be 10 either. So, but we haven't defined it, so I'm not going to put a price to it that we will not keep some.
Okay. Is Snowy equal good at heads up and 6-max and full ring, or is it better at any of the?
I think it's clearly better at. I mean, perfect. How to say that? Perfectness? No. I mean, the order is clearly that heads up. It would be nearly unbeatable, I believe. 6-max, it's very, very strong, and the ones that you probably will find the more leaks is on the full ring. It's just by the number of combinations that are possible, it's easier to converge to a GTO solution for heads up because the options and the situations that are there are limited. Whereas for 9-max, obviously, you have many more situations, and it might still take. I mean, the improvement might still be bigger that we will have in the coming year or so.
All right. I haven't really seen any marketing or any discussion about it on 2+2, but I've seen a lot on Pokernut. What is your relationship with Pokernut?
We decided, because of the sort of knowledge of Backgammon Snowy in the Danish market, we sought to work with a strong poker brand in the Danish market, and Pokernut has probably the biggest reach at the moment when it comes to poker in Denmark. Yeah. So we just agreed with them to give them the initial exclusivity to talk and release the story of the launch of Snowy. That's I think as much as there is to say about this. It's just we basically gave them the exclusivity to release the news, and we're quite happy that we've actually done this in Denmark, because it confirmed that there is a very strong culture around backgammon and online poker and online mind games in general in Denmark, which was our experience from backgammon.
All right. So it will be published on 2+2 and other big forums in a short while, or?
Will be. I mean, obviously, at the moment there are conversations about PokerSnowie developing independently of us pretty much everywhere. Yeah. Although I'm not aware of anything on 2+2 specifically at the moment. We don't want to, at this stage, do any further active marketing before we actually launch the product commercially. So we'll be doing a lot more noise and a lot more real marketing activities, advertising and other events once we're ready to go to market with a paid for product. Yeah. At this stage we're quite happy with monitoring and understanding what the reaction of the market is, just with this initial seeding that we've done with Pokernut.
All right. So there was an anonymous high-stakes player who tested your product and was pleased with it and said that it was unbeatable and all that. Why did you keep him anonymous? Wouldn't it be more relevant to have a player who will go out and lay his name to that product, or what do you think about that?
The reason is very simple. He didn't want that we give his name out, and we don't. That's why.
All right.
It's not really our decision. I think for us it would be better to name him, obviously. Yeah. But he didn't want that his name is published, so we just respect that.
So you can assure me that he actually exists?
Yes, this week.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Thank you a lot. Thank you for answering all the questions, and I will definitely call you again in a while and have some other questions for you.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.